Hi, my name is Ashley Koch, and I'll be presenting my research topic on managing organizational change. Organizational change is when a business is restructured and involves both internal and external changes. Most organizations have to change in order to keep up with competition or adjusting to new market trends or even technologies. Reasons for change are attributed to an organization's internal and external environments. It's essential that we accept that change is necessary in order for an organization to survive. I'm going to give you some examples of internal and external changes before we continue. Internal changes, as you can see, are structural, strategic, people, and process. You can see examples here as shown. Structural may involve chain of command, management systems, job structure, or administrative procedures. Strategic may involve goals, purpose, strategies, missions, where people deals with improving performance, changing attitudes, behaviors, group cohesion, and even employee training. Process would involve operational activities, manufacturing activities, even human resource policies. Now, external changes deal with customers, competition, economy, technology, social and political conditions. Before any changes can be effectively managed, it is crucial to evaluate any possible resistance from employees. When employees think of change, cost saving is the first thing that comes to mind. Possible cutbacks in salaries and benefits. Managers must communicate to their employees that the changes will enhance operations and it will allow them to stay ahead of economic pressures. When changes are being made, employees may have heightened stress, increased time away from work, and even life changes. Motivation and performance may decrease. Manage through educating and communicating with employees, as well as encouraging involvement and cohesion. Use environmental scanning tools to monitor the internal and external environments, identifying early signs of change. Each type of change is used in accordance with particular changes that an organization is trying to make. There's developmental change, which is when an organization is attempting to improve their current business. Next, there's transitional change, which is replacing existing processes. And lastly, there's transformational change, which is when organizations are faced with different technologies and competition. Being successful in implementing change must begin with effective communication. Try and avoid written communication about change because as humans, we respond to two-way communication. So finding ways to open up conversation is a powerful engagement process. Now, the primary use of communication and change is to create clarity. You have to ensure that everyone understands what you are trying to achieve. Offer opportunities for employees to share their concerns, ask questions, and offer ideas. Next, we have designing a communication plan through the culture. Organizational culture consists of shared beliefs and values established by the organization's leaders and then communicated and reinforced through various methods which shape employee perceptions, behaviors, and understanding. There is no practical guide for organizational change. However, the culture can influence employees' attitudes and behavior, so management must communicate a strong and valued culture in order to promote change. Communication strategies and action plans. Different age groups will need different styles of communication. Obviously, the younger generation will need a style that is different from an employee reaching retirement age. We must also tailor messages to these specific work groups. And last, train employees on how to incorporate the changes into their daily routines. Training sessions will act as a guideline for helping employees better understand their expectations and allow them to feel like they are part of the changes taking place. I can't say it enough. Value employees. In order to sustain the trust, cooperation, and positive attitudes of employees, the employees come first and the customers come second. This will not only help to maintain superior service and operations, but it will also result in little turnover. Components of effective communication have been broken down into 4 different factors. The first, the sender of the change message must present the message clearly and in detail. The second component, the receiver of the message must decide to listen, ask questions for clarity, and trust the sender. Component number 3, the delivery method must suit the circumstances and needs of both the sender and the receiver. Number 4, the content of the message has to resonate and connect on some level with the already held beliefs of the receiver. It is against human nature to act favorably to change, and when change initiatives fail, the culprit is often a lack of good communication from management. I wanted to put that quote in there because I thought it was very important to understand how communication plays such a significant role in organizational change. What to avoid when making changes? Number 1, withholding information about changes. Withholding information about the change creates resistance and insecurities, making it difficult for managers to restore order and motivation. Managers must not expect an overnight change. All organizational changes take a lot of time. It can take years at that, depending on the changes that are being made. Next, making assumptions about employee attitudes in regards to the change. Just because employees are told about the change does not mean that they will be receptive. Last, informing rather than engaging. Managers are programmed to inform, so they often have difficulty engaging with the other employees. But they must learn to engage through various communication channels in order for the change to be successful. When an organizational change is being made, management must diffuse employee insecurities by over-communicating future changes. Communicate why the change is being made and how it will be beneficial. Link future changes to employees' personal goals. Involve employees in the change by giving them a voice to be heard, and train employees on the changes that will occur. Achieving organizational change relies on the employees. Therefore, effectively communicating change and accepting the roles that employees play in implementing the change is critical. Suggestions for further study may involve how to adequately manage diversity. We all understand that diversity is becoming a huge factor here recently, so I think it would be very beneficial to understand that and to research. Also, how to change the culture to satisfy the demands of a diversified organization. Those demands and needs are constantly changing because of the culture, so we must learn how to change the culture as well. And lastly, possibly study anything involving the effects and perceptions about organizational change among people in different stages of their careers. If you have someone young that's just starting their career, their views and perceptions on their job and their organization is probably significantly different than that of someone who is older. I hope you've enjoyed some of my points from my research paper, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing everyone else's videos. Have a great night.